Shri Parasakthi Vidyalaya Cbse Class 6th Subject English.
Good morning, dear students. In this class, we are going to learn about Unit 10 in your textbook. The topic of the lesson is the Banyan Tree. So, all of you take your English book, take page number 124. So, let's go. Dear students, page number 124. The topic of the lesson is Banyan Tree. So, all of you know about Banyan Tree. This is a story, is the main theme is what happened under the banyan tree. So, page number 125. You must have seen a banyan tree. This is a story about what the author saw as a young boy when he was sitting in the old banyan tree in his grandfather's house. So, this is a author is narrate the story. So, it is his real time experience as a young boy. So, what happened under the banyan tree, the young age, he just shared in the story. Page number 126. Probably thought him the foolish and headstrong for trusting a human. Point number 4. In the spring, when the banyan tree was full of small red figs, birds, all of kinds of would flock into the branches. So, in the spring season, so many small types of birds came and visit the branches. The red bottom bulbul, cheerful and greedy. So, they are very happy to play under the tree. Parrots, myna, and crows battling with one another. They are fight and they are enjoying the place very much. During the fig season, the banyan tree was full of noisiest place in the garden. So many birds came to that banyan tree. So the author explained it is a very noisiest place in the garden. So that much noise came from the birds and animals. Point number 5. Halfway up the tree, I had built a crude platform where I would spend the afternoons when it was not too hot. So the author said when his childhood it is not felt very hot on the time he just sat on the afternoons under the banyan tree. I could read that the propping myself against a tree with a cushion from the living room. He taken the cushion from the living room just to stay under the tree. On the time he starts to read the book, so it give very pleasure to him. Just he shared by the story. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, the story of Dr. Turtle were some of the book made my Banyan Tree Library. These kinds of the book read by the author in his childhood days under the banyan tree. So this is only explained in this page. Page number 127, point number 6. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the leaves at the wall below. And on one particular afternoon, I had a grandstand view of the classic of the Indian wilds, a fight between a mongoose and the crowbar. So it is the end of the first part 1. He said when he felt upset or when he not feel like reading on the time, he took the leaves at the wall below. So on the one particular afternoon, he saw a grand view of the classic Indian wilds. We see in the first page the fight between the mongoose and cobra. This is an important the turning point of the story. That is only the author shared in part 2. Listen part 2, 7th point. The warm breezes of approaching summer had sent everyone, including the gardener, into the house. I was feeling drowsy myself, wondering if I should go to the pond and have a swim with Ramu and the buffaloes when I saw a huge black cobra gliding out of the clump of cactus. At the same time, a mongoose emerged from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. So one day, it was a summer time. The author felt very drowsy, very sleepy mood in that afternoon. So he want to take bath near to the by the house. There is a pond is there. So he want go with his friend Ramu. So in the time there are so many buffaloes also. They are taken bath in that river. It is like a small pond. So when I saw the huge black on the time he met a small huge black cobra out of the clump of the cactus tree. At the same time, the mongoose emerged from the bushes. So now there are two champions they are made. Who are all they? The snake and the mongoose. Point number 8. In a clearing beneath of the banyan tree, the bright sunshine, they came face to face. So who are all met the face to face? Mongoose and the snake. The cobra, no, only to well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a super fighter, clever and aggressive. This is a description about the mongoose given by the author. But the cobra too was a skillful and experienced fighter. Both are good fighters. So the author considered they are the champions. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light. The sacks and behind his long sharp fangs full of deadly poison. So it was the battle ready to start with the mongoose and cobra. He said they are the champions in the place. So what happened? We can see in the next page. Page number 128, point number 9. Hissing defiance, his forked tongue darting in and out. The cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread his broad spectacled hood. The mongoose pushed his tail, the long hair on his spine stood up. So they both are ready for fight. So that is only given in the point number 9. Point number 10. Though the components means here it refers the participations. The unaware of my presence in the tree, they were soon made aware of the arrival of 2 other spectators. So the author just sat in that one of the climb of the tree, but the fighters, the competitors, the combatants, they are not noticed the author. So of course there are 2 more spectators are there. One was a spectator means they are visiting person. So one was a myna, the other was a jungle crow. Who are all see the fight? The myna and the crow. They had seen the preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with the both of them. So now they said they are very interested to watch the fight between the mongoose and the cobra. The author, of course, the 2 more spectators, myna and jungle crow. So now they are ready to fight face with face. So what happened? See in the next page. Page number 129, point number 11. The cobra stood on the defensive, straying slowly from the side to side, trying to mesmerize the mongoose to making a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of the opponent's glassy, the unwinking eyes, and refused to meet them. Instead, we fixed and gazed at the point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. See, already in the lesson 9 you learn how they start the fight. So first the cobra stood on the defensive and very slowly from the side to side to reach the mongoose, but it is making false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponents. So usually if you are going to fight, you should know the value of the opponents. Now the mongoose is very clear about the opponent's view of kill. So it was also ready to meet the fight what going to happen. Point number 12. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's reach, the mongoose medium pretended to move to one side. Now it is going to move one side for the cobra's reach. Immediately the cobra struck. His great hood came down swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. So now first the author felt, so definitely the cobra will win because it was nothing could save the mongoose because it was just hurt the mongoose at first. But the little fellow jumped neatly one side and darted swiftly to the as a cobra, biting the snake on the back, darting away again out of reach. Now it is a clear escape. So it was a clear about the cobra's view. So it is just biting the snakes on the back side view. Point number 13. At the same moment that the cobra struck the crow and the myna hurled themselves at him, only they collide heavily in the midair. So now it is also which the cobra also ready to fight with the same moment. So this heavily midair, the shrieking insult at each other, they return to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glisten on the cobra's back because the mongoose was bites the cobra. So there is a few blood came out from the cobra's backside. Point number 14. The cobra struck and missed. Again the mongoose sprang aside, jumped in the bit. Again the birds dived at the snake and bumped into each other instead and returned shrieking the safety of the cactus. So the fight near to the cactus plant. So now the cobra struck and missed. Again the mongoose sprang aside, jumped and tried to bite the snake. Now the birds are dived at the snake side and each other instead. So this is why the spectators are very interested. The author also, because they are differently approach the companions. So first it is trying to kill the mongoose, but of course what happened? The mongoose now bite the snake. So what happened? We can see in the next page. Page number 113, point number 15. The third round followed the same course as the first, but with a dramatic difference. The crow and the myna, still determined to take part in the proceedings, dived at the cobra, but this time they missed to each other as well as their mark. The myna flew on and reached its perch, but the crow tried to pull it. The minder turned back. In the second that it struck the bear, to this the cobra whipped his head back and struck with a great force, his snout thudding against the crow's body. So here they given about there are two rounds completed. So now the third round going on. It is the same course. It means here it mentioned the same fight between the mongoose and the cobra. The crow and the myna still they are take part in the fight. They are supported one another with the cobra and one time they are support for mongoose. So the second that it is looked at bird, the cobra whipped his head back and struck with a great force. So now it is struck against the crow's body. Point number 16. I saw a bird flung nearly 20 feet across the garden. It flutters about a while, then lay still. The myna remained at the cactus plant. So now it is a bird flung nearly 20 feet across the garden. It fluttered and is a while, then still the myna remained the cactus plant. Now who was moved? The crow was moved, but still the myna was sitting on the tree. So we are come for the end of the story. So what happened at the end you can see in the next page. Page number 131. The snake and the mongoose returned to the fight, very wisely decided not to interfere again. The cobra was weakening and the mongoose walking fearlessly up to it, raised himself on the short legs, with a lightning snap had the big snake by the snout. The cobra whirled the lash out in a frightened manner and even coiled itself about the mongoose, but to no avail. The little fellow hung grimly on until the snake had ceased to struggle. He then smelt along with a quivering limb, gripped round the hood, dragged into the bushes. So now the fight was going to end. The snake and mongoose returned to the fight. They are very wisely, very knowledgeably decided not to interfere again. The cobra was very weakened now, but the mongoose still was some strong enough. So they decide to fight again with a clever manner. The cobra whirled and lashed in the frightened manner. So now it was, of course, should be a fright, but no avail. The little fellow hung. So up to this incident, the myna and crow still and watch the fight at the end of the scene. At the last point, 17, the myna dropped casually to the ground, hopped up, peered into the bushes from the safe distance, and then with a shrill cry of the congratulations and flew away. Now, so the supporters of the fight, the myna and crow. So now at the last the myna dropped out. So he came out from the place and cried and give the congratulations to the crow. Just it flew away. So this is a story written about. It is a fight between the. It is mainly about the animals based story. So the author is very well Ruskin Bond. His most of the stories belongs to animals and birds. Of course, this is also the type of story about animals and birds' life under the banyan tree. So very beautiful story. So what happened? The as a young boy, as a author, as a young boy. So what happened one day under the banyan tree? Given the beautiful description about the banyan tree and the fight by the author very clearly. I hope all you understood the lesson. So read again. You can understood the concept clearly. Thank you, students.